you. All right, Chambers County Commissioner Court come to order. This special call meeting for Thursday, 23rd day of September, 2021, 9:30 a.m. It's now 9:43 a.m. This, as I said, this special call meeting. Number one on the agenda, discuss and consider rejecting Texas Material Group Inc. bid for Bear Road full depth concrete repair. Corey Tyler.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. So yes, I'm asking this to be on the court. We basically just had one bidder. The bids were high. We went back and looked at aspects of the project to see, if we could see anything. The only aspect of this that I could see that would be that we had high early strength concrete in there. We're actually closing the roadway. So I think we could actually go back and do that. It's general class P, which should help in the pricing, and then do a little bit better price job getting it out to additional bidders and see if we can't have a more competitive overall process. This is about $100,000 more than what we were anticipating to spend on the overall project. So I'd like to give this one more shot to see if we can't get this down in, save basically 25% on the project essentially.
And just in case other commissioners aren't aware, I know y'all been aware Bayer Road has been in bad shape for a long time. It's in extremely bad shape. Covestro was going to fund actually replacing a large portion of that road with the $1 billion project that was put on hold, and now it may not be coming back. They did fund how much? 150?
250,000. So we have 250 from them. Originally, they were giving us $2 million, I believe. We were
That was all in the 3-in-1.
Right.
It was
part of the 3-in-1.
right, and that was with the overall larger project. Once it got on hold, everything changed. They asked us to go back to the drawing board, draw things up. So that's kind of the back and forth and the agreements that we've had with Covestro and what portion they would share versus us is kind of it's been the delay, along with trying to combine it with Hatcherville at one point and change same kind of situation with companies changing their availability for investing in the roadway. So
But at this point right now, the road is so bad, Covestro actually asked me if we would close it down.
Okay, Covestro's got us 250,000 in, and what do we have in ours? We have 500,000 in there on ours.
No, I think we're expecting the whole project to be about what,
well, 370, 378, 380, but right under 400 is what we're anticipating. That was the estimate that we had. And so
right, so
478.
we're gonna put about 150 with it.
Okay, well, I thought we had money, 500,000 budgeted for that, Judge, somewhere on Bear Road. Or we do already use that.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
It was 500. We spent like $16,000 on something.
So we have about 440 left.
432.
We
But
spent money
that
on
includes
it.
the 250 of Covestro's money, I think.
No,
That's
that's
just
separate.
ours.
Okay.
That's
That's just our,
That's just tax note money.
All right, Aaron, what do we have there in the tax note?
432.
Okay, 432 plus the 250
Yeah.
that we've already received. Aaron, do you know that we received that from Covestro, or we got to bill them, or
Was a 250 from a grade 1 agreement?
no?
That probably got received in general funds. Find it.
Okay, we'll find that.
So anyway, that's.
But we know we got 432 in tax note.
Yes, sir.
So yes, and I would like to note that originally there was an engineering report that was done on that with a recommendation that came out of it on a way to repair the roadway, which was basically to obliterate the full roadway, turn it back to gravel and rebuild from scratch. It would have been millions of dollars, and I disagreed with it. I took it to some experts that I have in industry, and they agreed that basically we would lose any structure we have. So the process initially that we came up with was to do these initial repairs that we're talking about now, do a 1-inch asphalt bond breaker, and then come back with a full reinforced concrete slab over the top of it. That would have given us a great lifespan on this thing. So what we're doing now is the initial repairs that's the reason that we're not, basically spending a larger amount, because it's just the initial repairs of the overall larger project. It should still get us many, many years, but it wouldn't be like a 20-year lifespan that we would be anticipating out of the other project.
So what this bid come in? You may have said
It
it.
came back at 478.
Did, I know when we first started talking about this Bear Road project, Billy, they was talking about some kind of water underneath it that was causing the issue with the road falling apart. Did we ever address that? I mean, is that not gonna be, can't afford to address that or what?
So, yeah, so going back to Bobby has actually used foam under this roadway in the past, which goes in and tries to fill voids. The problem is that the foam really works when it wedges against something solid and then holds it in place. It fills voids. Well, the problem is, like you're talking about, the water has basically, essentially we have floating slabs. There's so much water under there. Now, Bobby's talking back through the history when the NRG canal was put in. They feel like most likely that there was a north-south drainage lateral that went through there, not a canal, but just a natural drainage path. And somehow they cut that off, but somehow underground that water is still trickling through, and it has percolated into that whole ground, saturated it, and there's no way to drain it because it's so flat in there. So you'd have to be able to dig down, cut that out, and build up. So and this goes back to the design that I was talking about a while ago. So if we obliterated the roadway and could get rid of the drainage, that would work, because then you would have something solid. But when you obliterate everything you have and it's in a quagmire, it's all going to sink, and all that muck's just going to come up through it, and it's going to be total waste. And we'd end up with a huge project. You just wouldn't be able to find bottom, in my experience. So this is a way of bridging over that, keeping it floating, holding it. We're going to reinforce the concrete, which is not the situation out there now. Same thing that we've run into Hatcherville. That concrete's unreinforced. Just for everybody, I mean, we have to reinforce concrete. That's just all it is. I mean, concrete's only good and compressive. When you get into situations like this, you need the steel to carry that load across in the flexural type situation, the shear strengths in there.
Okay, now I just want the court to know that, I mean,
Yeah.
the reasoning for the
Right.
repair was mainly because of that waterway underneath there.
I think that's true, yes. And so when they dropped they did a pin test on it. When they drop a weight on a rod, and it's, you hope it only goes like a couple inches. So this rod's like 8 feet tall, and they dropped the rod, and they had to catch the rod so they didn't lose it. So, I mean, that's
That ain't good.
That's not good.
that's a lot of muck under there.
So
And that's the
Corey,
issue.
have you contacted contractors to bid this or?
I have, yes.
Yeah, we hand carry it this time, make sure they get it right.
Right. And so, anyway, we had a blip in there where some of them didn't see the process. So it's something else. I think maybe we potentially could find maybe a Houston wide contractor bid site to where we could get this stuff on and make it maybe a little bit more visible to be able to have it out there instead of having to
Is it on
hand
Dodge?
deliver. No, it's not. So
That's the problem.
So those are some things that we're going to try to improve in the future. Right now, we're having to hand deliver it a little bit. So I think maybe a combination, but definitely we need more competition in our projects to be able to drive prices down.
I entertain a motion to reject
So
bid.
moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Combs, second by Commissioner Gore. In favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Number 2, discuss and consider approval to go out for rebid of Bear Road full depth concrete repair. Corey.
So we're with your action that you just have taken, we'd like to go back out for bid tomorrow and have that back in 2 weeks. 14 calendar days. Talked to George. He's, I believe, good with that. And that we would have it for the first court in October.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Combs, second by Commissioner Tyson. So is the road closed?
No, the road isn't closed. As a matter of fact, Road and Bridge was out earlier this week putting asphalt in some of the holes so it can be passable. And I think that'll last us. And by the way, West Bay Road repaving or the asphalt on it that we got a TxDOT grant to do looks very good. So we can detour down West Bay Road while we're doing this work.
All right,
Thank you, Billy.
those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Number 3, discuss and consider update on frontier easement dispute. Hermes County Cool Lands. We're gonna go to executive session on that one. And then also have one personnel item and I think update on deliberation regarding real property. So with that, and I have my computer on, what time is it?
9:54.
At 9:54 a.m., we will recess to executive session under consultation with attorney, deliberation regarding real property and deliberation regarding security devices. Sure, I'm depending on that. So we'll recess at this time.
We're going to cross, we can't go.
Hermes County Commission Court come to order after executive session, 11:05 a.m. No action on number 3. So with that, Mr. Court's adjourned at 11:05 a.m. Thank you all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Godspeed.